Hello, I'm Tim Riches from FutureBrand Asia Pacific. Today I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction to FutureBrand's Country Brand Index 2009. 2009 is the 5th year that we've run our Country Brand Index study, and we're seeing some quite interesting changes. First and most notably, I suppose, we see Australia falling from the #1 country brand ranking and being overtaken by the US. A bit of a blow for Australia, considering that they've been there for 3 years running, and falling to #3, well, it's a little bit of a slip. But looking at it, it's really more a question of a slight softening of Australia's brand reputation on a number of points, really being, I suppose, overtaken by the US because of slight but generalised improvements on a range of brand associations. Perhaps also the revitalising effect of President Obama on the US country reputation has had a significant effect there. We also look at the impact of the recession, and we can see a general slowing of arrivals in most countries around the world, of tourism arrivals that is. We also see many countries focusing on value and overt statements about value in their marketing to greater or lesser effect. Interestingly, we also see a generally more pessimistic, less positive outlook from our surveyed people, with a more negative outlook in terms of how they see other countries around the world. We also look at the effect of big sporting events on China, obviously the Beijing 2008 Olympics, and South Africa, who, as we do this, are in their pre-World Cup period of hype and focus. And we see both of those brands actually being two of our strongest improvers in the index this year. China, maybe not quite as much as they would have hoped, but nevertheless significant improvements on a number of brand attributes. And South Africa certainly being picked as a rising star and a very strong improver. Country Brand Index shows what a huge opportunity Indonesia has to improve a surprisingly weak country brand image. There's one big strength that the country has, ranking #6 globally in terms of value for money. That's definitely not to be underestimated in the current climate. There are also some reasonably strong positives in the areas of rest and relaxation, beach and natural beauty. So the fame of destinations like Bali perhaps really driving the reputation of the country as a whole. The weaknesses, however, are quite profound in important areas like technology, environmentalism, quality of life, ideal for business and security. The weakness in those measures shows a real gap between the international perception of Indonesia and the reality, particularly some of the achievements of the government in the last 5 or so years. We think there's a huge opportunity to strengthen these attributes by driving much more active good news stories into the international market to close those gaps. So I guess we see the opportunity as being closing that gap between the perception and the reality of Indonesia, to link and leverage Indonesia's very strong assets, Bali perhaps being the most famous, in a bottom-up kind of a way to build the country brand as a whole, and to capture public attention and to capture the public imagination in the process of doing so.